Tonight on CTV News at 5.
Tense times. The impact of Charlie Kirk's death is felt on both sides of the border.
When he got sick, it was just part of his medicine too. It just kept him going.
Leo's hopes and dreams. Hockey is medicine for this 9-year-old facing a difficult diagnosis.
Lawns and Gardens definitely took a bit of a beating.
And grassroots revival. The fall edition of the Garden Guide is back with timely tips.
Clearing continues tonight for the Maritimes with a sunny but cooler start to Friday.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Penopalis. Thank you for joining us. First at 5 tonight, toxic times. Charlie Kirk's death has sent shockwaves through the United States and here at home in Canada. The conservative activist, who is both praised and vilified for his outspoken opinions, was shot and killed in an appearance in Utah yesterday. As CTV's Hafsa Arif reports, his sudden death has ignited a conversation about the deepening hate and division facing society today. Hi, Hafsa.
Hey, Maria, that's right. The response to his killing has revealed something deeper: grief, shock, and questions about the society we live in today.
The news of Charlie Kirk's death spread fast. From news broadcasts to TikTok feeds, what many saw play out was both shocking and deeply disturbing.
My wife and I, we had put the kids to bed when it happened, and we kind of sat fixated on the news, following to see what would have happened to him.
Kirk wasn't an elected official, but his presence in American politics was undeniable, with fiery speeches on campuses, a loyal following, and critics who challenged him every step of the way.
But he was not a policymaker, he's not a senator, he's not a congressman, he's just a voting citizen like anyone else. And that he was sort of notorious for encouraging open debate and discussion. That is a very alarming feature to this.
On the streets, the reaction was less about politics and more about principle.
I don't think anyone deserves to die like that. I don't really support what he stood for, but I don't think that anyone should die like that, especially in front of your family.
If you can't express your own opinions in a free society, then that society is not free.
Online, the conversation was predictably split. But Giles Crouch, a digital anthropologist, says what we see on our screens doesn't always reflect the full picture.
Although we see extremism on both sides and this kind of rhetoric, it's not as much as we'd think it is, but social media amplifies it, and it can come across to us as if, it is increasing political divide.
Crouch warns the line between digital conversations and real-world violence is blurring, and Kirk's death is an example of that.
Social media has only been in our society for about 15 years in its current form. And because we have smartphones, we have all these connected devices, and it's 24/7, it's hyperconnectivity. It is beginning to shape our real-world activities.
Those who admired Kirk say his legacy will live on.
Part of the reason why he was so impactful was because of his method. Violence is not the answer, but it's also not effective. And I think that should be one of the chief things that we take away from his passing.
For some, Charlie Kirk will be remembered as a polarizing figure. For others, a voice silenced too soon. But to all, his death is a reminder of just how fragile the freedom to speak can be. Maria?
So true. Thank you very much, Hafsa. CTV's Hafsa Arif for us in the newsroom this evening. And that brings us to tonight's web poll. We are asking, do you feel like our country is more politically divided today than it was a decade ago? We'd love to hear from you. You've got two options, yes or no. Go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in and to see the latest poll results. All right, time to head over to the anchor desk now, where Stephanie Seekos is in for Todd Battis tonight with a look at the headlines. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Maria. Dalhousie students are still left in limbo as the school's work stoppage rolls on. The Faculty Association has received a new offer from the Board of Governors, with the union saying members will review it. Students are now hearing that the academic calendar is going to undergo changes if and when a deal is reached. We'll have details at 6. Big turnout last night for a meeting in Miramichi on homelessness and crime. Businesses in downtown Newcastle say the situation is out of control and they are looking for help. All 3 levels of government were there, and so was our Nick Moore. The story coming up at 6. New reports on how small businesses in our region are handling uncertain economic times have been released. They are highlighting challenges some businesses face keeping the doors open, including rising costs, construction, and traffic congestion. We'll have more on that coming up at 6. But for now, we'll head over to the Weather Center for your first look at the forecast with meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. Pretty pleasant temperatures. We're moving into the early evening hours. They're mostly around the high teens and low 20s in the Maritimes. We did pick up into that northerly wind as we went into and through the afternoon. So the southwest of Nova Scotia is a little bit more sheltered out of that north wind, and that's why temperatures for that part of the Maritimes are a little bit warmer, including 25 degrees right now close to Ketchum-Kujik Park. Now, we did get a little bump in relative humidity around the region over the past 24 hours. That low pressure system went up and past the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia. There's still some lingering, somewhat humid air there with some dew point temperatures around the mid to high teens. Other parts of the Maritimes, though, already starting to see the dew point temperatures drop back down to the range of around 6 to 10, which means relative humidity values for those areas are falling into a range of around 30 to 50%. You can see still a little bit higher around Atlantic coastal Nova Scotia there, running between 70 and 100%. In the case of Sydney, which has been still seeing a little bit of light precipitation in the form of some light showers and some drizzle. There's the wind direction out of the north, and on the breezy side being sustained right now between 10 and 25 kilometers per hour. We're getting a few gusts still being reported between 30 and 40. Winds will remain out of the north for both tonight and for tomorrow. Over on radar and satellite, we're seeing some clearing conditions now with a band of cloud cover clearing out of areas of New Brunswick. Some clearing also taking place around north and western areas of Nova Scotia. That trend will continue for tonight, and I'll have more of the details of the forecast a little bit later on. Maria.
Hold you to it. Thank you, Kaylin. Right now, though, it's time for our first break here on CTV News at 5. Still much more to come, including these stories.
I'm Hafsa Arif in Kentville, where the Canadian Seniors Men's Championship is in full swing with 150 golfers from across Canada and the world competing. That's coming up on CTV News at 5.
Hey, it's Emily from Halifax Seed. I'm back for another season of the Garden Guide. Coming up next, we'll talk about how you can handle your drought-ridden lawn.
HMCS Sackville is the world's last surviving Second World War Corvette. Preserved by the Canadian Naval Memorial Trust, she honors those who served and shares Canada's naval story. Keep the legacy afloat. Visit cnnt.ca.
Welcome back. Well, it's September and we're at Halifax Seed, which can mean only one thing. The Garden Guide is back for the fall edition. Emily Trigano, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What a summer we have had. Very hot and very hard on our lawns.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was great beach weather day after day. But yes, the lawns and gardens definitely took a bit of a beating. But to say that, I think things are going to be okay.
Okay.
So it is very natural for all of our lawns in this region to go into a dormancy period, especially in the heat of the summer in August. So they did that. And what I have noticed is they have started to green up. So we've had a little bit of rain over the region in the last couple of weeks. That little bit of rain has gone a long way, and it's really helped to green up the lawns. I've also noticed, there's a lot of dew overnight. The humidity is up. All of this really, really helps.
Okay. The one thing also to keep in mind this time of year, though, is that in a lot of parts of the Maritimes, we're trying to conserve water. There are restrictions on, so we have to be careful and mindful of how much watering we're doing. But you've got a product here that is actually maybe a helpful one in that situation?
Absolutely. So as your lawns start to come back, you can this time of year, I would say absolutely go out and fertilize. When you fertilize, it is important to do so, but you want to be really careful. So I'm recommending using a polymer fertilizer. A polymer coated fertilizer is going to release a little bit slower. If you use an uncoated fertilizer, which always great fertilizers as well, you want to make sure you're absolutely following the directions. You want to apply it properly. You just don't want to shock the root systems. Okay. So they've had a hard go. They're waking up. Be gentle with the root systems.
Okay. That's good advice in any situation, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, yes, there's also this product here. So this is called Aqueduct Flex. This is from our commercial lineup of products. A lot of homeowners have started to use this as well. This helps to retain moisture in the soil. So if you are seeding, if you have a lot of dry spots that aren't coming back, even if you're just looking to help retain the moisture in the soil, this is a really wonderful product. I'd also say if you are going to be doing a little spot seeding, or maybe you do have to seed your whole lawn, water is a requirement. You need to have, you know, seed soil contact, and it does have to be moist in order for seed to germinate. It is quite possible that we'll get enough just through the environment to have that happen. But you want to take a look at making sure you're seeding a variety that is drought tolerant as well. So, you know, the Green Fast as well as Green Extreme both have some drought tolerances built into those varieties. Clovers as well, if that's an option you want to go for, that would work as well. At this point, we can just hope that we get a little bit more rain, and I'm fairly confident that the grass will be okay.
Yeah, we're crossing our fingers for sure. Really good advice, and a little different than most years, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you, Emily.
You're welcome.
We'll see you next week.
See you then.
Well, the grass may be starting to green up a little bit in the Maritimes, but fall colors are also starting to make an appearance, and we'll see that as we take a look out at Mineville, Nova Scotia. And sometimes the early change or the early appearance of the colors can be brought on by a little bit of tree stress because of dry conditions. I'll have more on the forecast after the break.
Start your morning with us an hour early. We have a fresh new look starting Monday, September 15th, filled with news, weather, and the same laughs you love. Your Morning Atlantic from 6 to 9 on CTV2 and CTVAtlantic.ca.
Welcome back. CTV has teamed up with Scotiabank Centre for a big ticket giveaway. One lucky viewer will win a Scotiabank Centre prize package that features home game tickets to see the Halifax Mooseheads and the Halifax Thunderbirds, plus 2 tickets to see Warren Zyder, Sarah McLachlan, the Beaches, and the Tea Party. We're also throwing in 5 one-night stays at Moxie Halifax downtown. To enter, go to CTVAtlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts or scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can enter once per day until Saturday at 5 p.m. and the winner will be announced on September 19th. Good luck, everybody. Kaylin, I do think we got a little bit of rain last night, or I know we got a little bit of rain last night. Not quite enough, but it's been a pretty gray day today.
Sure.
Does gray usually mean there's a little bit of rain on the way?
Well, like most things with weather, sometimes, but not always. And in the case of today, we're actually on the back edge of the cloud cover, so it's going to be clearing away. So not much precipitation expected as we make our way through tonight. Parts of Nova Scotia did pick up a little bit of rain yesterday, mostly a few millimeters here and there. A couple parts of the Atlantic coastline, 10+ millimeters. Taking a look at our sunrise and sunset times, we're going to go to Cookville in New Brunswick. Tractor busy at work, headed up the road there. And you can see that blue sky in the background. A lot of sunshine for many areas of New Brunswick today, though there was a band of some broken cloud cover that was making its way north to south across the province. What's left of that cloud cover as we take a look at our weather systems map is mostly around the southeast New Brunswick and parts of Prince Edward Island. And we've got some additional lingering cloud cover around areas of the east of Nova Scotia. Both those areas of cloud will continue to clear as we make our way through the night. And one of the reasons why it is clearing is because the next weather system on our doorstep, and I talked about this yesterday, it's one of the reasons why it's been so dry throughout the summer season. It's another area of high pressure. We just had these persistent areas of high pressure in place around the region, and another one arriving from the west for tomorrow. So taking a look at things on radar, I don't have a lot to show you. There's maybe a little bit of very, very light precipitation left around a few areas of Cape Breton, though it wouldn't be much more than the form of a little bit of light drizzle or perhaps a very, very light shower, and even that's going to be coming to an end. And then for the rest of tonight, it's clearing conditions expected. Now, some fog patches may develop. The highest chance of actually seeing some fog develop tonight is going to be around eastern areas of Nova Scotia, especially in Cape Breton, where there's still a little bit more moisture hanging around in the air. Now, any fog that does develop will be dissipating as we make our way through Friday morning. Friday, for large parts of the Maritimes, will be quite sunny, including most of New Brunswick, most of Nova Scotia. Not quite for Prince Edward Island, though. Making our way into and through Friday afternoon in a northerly wind, there is expected to be some cloud cover that moves over the Gulf of St. Lawrence, so from north to south, and that'll fill in towards parts of Prince Edward Island. Some of that cloudiness as well showing up around the north shore of mainland Nova Scotia. And it is going to be a continued northerly wind for both tonight and tomorrow in the Maritime region. It's going to cool temperatures down just a little bit for Friday, and that wind still on the breezy side. There'll be some wind gusts tomorrow around the Maritimes, fairly widespread, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour, but potentially as gusty as 30 to 50 kilometers per hour in Prince Edward Island and some locations in Cape Breton, especially Inverness and Victoria counties. Taking a look at low temperatures in the forecast for tonight around the region. For New Brunswick, they do get a little bit cooler, especially in the northwest of the province. Lows mostly between 4 and 8 degrees. Low temperatures for Prince Edward Island tonight between 8 and 12. And for Nova Scotia, most of the low temperatures 9 to 12 degrees, a little bit milder around coastal areas in the southwest of the province, 14 there at Lunenburg and Shelburne. Highs in the forecast for Friday for the province of New Brunswick between 19 and 22 degrees. We're looking at mid to high teens for Prince Edward Island. And for Nova Scotia for tomorrow, most of the high temperatures in the high teens and the low 20s. All those temperatures pretty seasonable, or maybe just a degree or two cooler than the averages for this time of the year. Taking a look at the forecast for Saturday, that area of high pressure begins to weaken a little bit over the region, so a little bit of cloud cover does develop. It's more of a mix of sun and cloud to get the weekend started. High temperatures around the high teens and low 20s. And then in the forecast for Sunday for the Maritimes, there's an area of low pressure that's going to be moving just to the north of the region. Part of the front with that weather system may just brush into the province of New Brunswick, bringing a low chance of spotty showers to that province at the end of the weekend on Sunday. Maybe like a 30 or 40% chance, looking like a mix of sun and cloud, though, for both PEI and Nova Scotia. All right, let's take a look at our weather watcher for tonight. And tonight's weather watcher is coming in from 8-year-old Elliot Spinney from Coldbrook, Nova Scotia. Elliot has sent us a drawing of the sea with some rain and a rainbow over it. I got some birds in there as well. Thank you, Elliot. Weather watchers can come in to CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4. Or you can always email me, kaylin.mitchell@bellmedia.ca. Maria.
Kaylin, so the Canadian Men's Senior Championship is in Kentville, Nova Scotia this week. As CTV's Hafsa Arif shows us, it's 4 days of high-stakes competition and camaraderie for the sport.
At the Kenwo Golf Club, the championship pressure is heating up. A total of 150 players teed off in the opening rounds. Only the best are chasing the trophy.
We expect a very close championship, a very bunched up leaderboard. Hard to predict who's going to come out on top now. They're kind of moving into position, if you will, for the final round. But it's going to be just a very close competition.
The players are all 55 and older, some competing in the super senior category at 65 plus. And while it's amateur golf, the competition is fierce.
These senior players have been doing this probably their whole lives. A lot of them were junior champions and amateur champions and then mid-amateur champions. There's a whole bunch of different levels as they move up through the age groups.
For one Nova Scotian player, being part of it is what matters most.
I'm not here to win. I play a game called golf shot. I just hit a shot at a time, and we'll see what happens. The end is none of my business.
The interprovincial team competition has also added to the drama, with Alberta and Ontario pushing for the top.
It's very competitive out here. There's a lot of Americans. There's, even amongst the teams, there's some very, very accomplished players. It's always a grind, You're only as good as your last game, last shot.
But win or lose, organizers say the real impact stretches beyond the fairways.
We have a program that runs accessible programming for youth at partner golf courses, local schools, and community programs.
From international champions to homegrown talent, this week is about passion, perseverance, and pride. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Kentville.
Thank you, Hafsa, and well done, everybody. All right, we're going to take a break. Here's a preview of our final story of the evening.
I'm Ryan McDonald in Coxheath, Nova Scotia, where a young boy who has been battling cancer for years now has found a large degree of healing through the game of hockey. We'll shoot and score with young Leo Knott coming up.
Welcome back. We wrap up tonight with an update on a young Maritimer for whom hockey has been his best medicine. As CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us, Leo Knott has had some significant health challenges, but these days he's dreaming big.
Like plenty of other Canadian kids, 9-year-old Leo Knott is a hockey fanatic. What makes his relationship with the game different is that he's spent much of his life battling cancer.
When he got sick, it was just part of his medicine too. It just kept him going.
At the age of 4, Leo was diagnosed with a rare condition called Langerhans cell histiocytosis. Throughout his years of receiving treatments, playing sports has become a salvation of sorts.
As long as he's on the ice or on the ball field or playing lacrosse or playing soccer or swinging a golf club, he's the same as all other kids.
Well, I played for a lot of teams.
These days, the budding young scorer has an additional goal in mind. He's one of a number of Maritime kids still in the running to become Sports Illustrated's Youth Athlete of the Year, which comes with a $25,000 grand prize. So far, he says one of his hockey highlights has to be the time he met Sid the Kid, his favorite player.
Well, I got to meet him and Nathan McKinnon one time, so that was really cool. And I have a jersey signed by him.
The sweater, signed by Sydney, hangs proudly in Leo's bedroom, which is more like a shrine to the game he loves most. When it comes to his health, Leo's dad says lately things have been going pretty well.
We're very stable. He's on a chemo pill, and everything is keeping it at bay right now. The doctors don't know how to get rid of it, but we know how to kind of deal with it right now.
With a new season on the ice just around the corner, Leo is getting set for his first year at the under-11 level with the County Islanders. And his cancer journey hasn't kept him from dreaming the same dream as any other kid who spends untold hours shooting on their net at home the way he does.
Probably to make it to the NHL one day.
Chasing goals on and off the ice and gaining fans along the way. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Coxheath, Nova Scotia.
It's quite a shot on you there, Leo.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a goal scorer as some wicked-looking wrist shots he was firing into those nets there.
Oh, we're wishing you the very best,
Yeah.
buddy. Thanks for sharing. All right, Kaylin, how's it looking out there?
Well, what did Emily say? She's pretty sure that the lawns will be okay? Is that what she said in the garden
Hoping.
guide?
Yeah, hoping.
I'm sure they will, but
Eventually.
they're not going to get a lot of help in the sort of extended forecast here over the next several days. Once again, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty dry stretch for the region. More on that at 6.
Thanks for watching. National News is next.